kind of no-nonsense shave today. In about 4 hours, I've got to get up and take the kids to school. Brush for today, Stirling Boar. Been used about 8 times already. I've had it soaking for a couple hours, as I have been doing for a while now. Razor today is a timeless 6/8. Just make sure of that. Yeah, there we go. 6/8, and it does have the scalloped top cap and the open comb base plate. It's already loaded with a Wilkinson sword. It's been used a few times. The sharper blades that I've used with this razor, man, it really jumps up the aggression. Normally the 6/8 in solid bar or scalloped bar is really comfortable shaver for me, but almost this open comb kind of takes it to another level. Quite a big jump. This guy discontinued his soap company a while back, and this is going to be my first try of his soaps, and Tim's soap. And this is Roots. Really tough to find documentation on this one online. I think maybe he kind of disappeared when some of the stuff was coming out. Like trythatsoap.com is a great index for soaps and scents and things like that. Vetiver is what I've heard that this is supposed to, it's pretty firm, and who knows, this could have been a couple of years since this guy was used. And in fact, he's shrunk enough to where he just pops out of the tub. All right, my face has been wetted. Here's my lather bowl. Details on how to get plans for it if you have a 3D printer are in the description. And so we will just take as usual, shake most of the water out. I'm going to load for 40 seconds because I don't know what this soap's going to do. I've heard it's a good soap, but I don't know. Oh, 20 just hit, so I'll just go until the end of the minute now. This soap has a lot of backbone. This brush has a lot of backbone. So maybe I don't need to go to 40. But let's just do it anyway. This puck is spinning, so I'm having to do more left and right, instead of circles. Lots of good lather coming up there. And there. All right. And I'm going to rinse off the mess here. Okay, now let's whip up the lather. So this Stirling brush is slow to break in. If I get to 30 uses and it's not broken in, it's not comfortable, then I may switch to a different break-in method. Yeah, this does kind of smell like the fine green vetiver. The one, I think it was badgerandblade.com forums, the one post I was able to find that had some scent notes, it talked about it being a dark, sweet vetiver. Now maybe I could say sweet, but what I'm getting right now, I'm not really picking up very much dark vetiver. But it's an old soap, and so that part of the scent profile may have left. Some people think Tim's soap is just okay, and so it's not really worth pursuing. Sometimes guys are trying to charge you about $25 per tub because they know that it's hard to get. And so some guys are saying it's not worth that much. We've got so many good artisans right now that you don't need to pay that much for that. So, you've got guys on both sides. So far the lather's looking pretty nice. I'm going to rinse the handle off a little bit. When it gets wet, just a real chore to keep a hold of it. Just going to go ahead and put the rest of the 2 teaspoons in there. You know, I'm not really good at identifying vetiver scent. I like several scents that are vetiver focused, but I mean, to me right now, this is kind of more of a soapy or citronella scent, almost like Williams Mug soap. Not quite as pungent as that. I have no idea if Tim's is going to want more than the 2 teaspoons, so from this point on we're going to be conservative. Show you what we've got so far. I mean, a good bit. That should be enough to do the job. Big boar knot. This is, you know, the Simogs are smaller knots. This one's a lot bigger. So in a sense it's nicer because you've got more bristles and to touch your face. And the whipped dog 24mm boar knot is the same way. But it didn't take this long to break in. I hope that when this guy does break in, it'll just be really cool with the tips. Just providing a whole lot of nice coverage and comfort at the same time. It's looking pretty good. Why don't we just try this out? Might be too thick, but I don't want to break it. I don't have a ton of lather, but I'm sure I have enough. Alright, one more splash of water on the face. Kind of dispersing a little bit. Let's pull some off the side of the brush here. Maybe it can't hold quite that much water. Who knows? Well, that should do. Definitely not going to have a problem. The knurling on this guy is pretty bitey, especially when dry. You know, it doesn't feel the same way now that my fingers are wet. That's really interesting. All right, let's see how this Wilkinson sword is a blade that I often enjoy as a budget blade. Because they're pretty cheap, but they still give me a pretty good shave. That Derby is my other possibility for a budget. My go-to cheap blade. But remember, blades are just very subjective. May not work at all for you. I went ahead and ordered 100 Wilkinson swords because I I just went to order like 30 or 40 just to kind of have some to try. And it cost like $2 more just to get 100. So I just went ahead and did it. All right, now first impression was that this is definitely not as aggressive as when I had the sharper blades in it like feather. So I'm happy about that. I was afraid I was going to have to sell this base plate. It's really nice looking. All right, rinse. Not a lot of slickness and creaminess during the rinse there, and so I probably have just put a little too much water in my lather. So let's just gather some up from this. Go at it here. So I've got 2 teaspoons. I'll add a little bit to the brush here. See, I hate it when, that's why I don't face lather, drips everywhere. And let's just give a couple of little sprays to my brush. Hopefully we can kind of have that combine with the soap, because we don't want to end up with a pasty lather. Yeah, there we go. This is nicer. All right, shave this guy off. Yeah, this is, and unless I get to the end of the shave and find that it has cumulatively bothered me, I would not be able to daily shave with this razor and like a feather. I think I also tried the Astras, but I can't remember the result. Superior Platinum. But I think with this blade I could daily shave if I wanted to. I don't really feel in any kind of risk of giving myself a nick. I mean, of course, it's always possible. I do think I could give myself a little bit of razor burn if I just had a lapse in technique. Yeah, that rinse was a lot better. I felt slick and kind of creaminess. So I definitely just overwatered it. In the future, I probably need to load for a little bit longer than the 40 seconds for this particular soap. All right. Comfortable. I don't feel raw or anything like that. Definitely glad I didn't get the open, and I knew this. I knew I shouldn't get the open comb for the 95. Now the solid bar on the 95, I definitely could use it as a daily shaver. It's very nice. It's nothing some of the people who post about it, they just must have more sensitive skin than I do, because they were like, oh, it's too rough or something. But I just did not have a problem with it at all. It could easily be a daily shaver for me. Excellent, great shave. Really happy with it. Yeah, the scent just wasn't really strong enough during the shave. I smelled it lightly, maybe 3 to 4 out of 10, but it was very light. So I might, maybe now that I have a Tim soap, maybe somebody might be interested in trading. I don't know. But I could see how somebody would like it, vetiver fans, because it's interesting. All right, I'm going to clean up and rinse off, and maybe I won't put anything on my face because I do have a little bit of redness, but I don't feel it. I don't have any irritation. So I like this blade in this razor a lot better than some of the more aggressive or sharper ones, if you want to say the word sharper. Some people get all riled up when you do that. One blade's not sharper than the other, so they're all razor sharp. Well, I contend that within the realm of razor sharp, there are differences. All right, as is my custom, I'm going to show you what he's looking like after the strop on the towel back there. Slowly starting to fan out. Gradually, some of the tips are starting to split, but he's being slow about it. Some are just that way. So we'll just wait and see what happens. And cleanup time. Yeah, so for the 40-second load, 2 teaspoons was just too much water for this one, it looks like. I might recommend a 50 or 60-second load next time, because if stopping earlier, I mean, it might have been enough, but I like to have a little bit of margin. So, and then maybe keep it at 2 teaspoons, you know, see, that might be an approximate value for the water. Face feels great. So I have oily skin, and so this may not matter as much, carry as much weight, but I could walk away easily without a post-shave product, so that's pretty cool. So to summarize my experience with the soap, I really enjoyed the lather that I was able to get. I think it's capable of putting out a very good lather, so that's nice. The scent, while I liked it, I enjoyed sticking my nose in the bowl, I enjoyed smelling the brush. It's a scent that I really like. However, just a little too low-key, a little too light in the strength department for me. So that was a real joy to use that razor. Nice to have that open comb, like I said, with a blade that works a little smoother for me. So that was very pleasant. It did feel a little bit more like the 95 than the 68 because of the open comb. So there's that. Everything else I believe I kind of told you about. Looking forward to maybe trying another Tim soap. Maybe I can do a swap with somebody. Definitely be open to that because I know now it's a very good base. Very enjoyable, slick, creamy, good performer. And so we're good. Just finished cleaning up. Time to go get some sleep. I hope there's something here for you. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. Take care.